Hello all, welcome to my channel. So in this series of new manager transition training short videos, I'll be sharing the tips and tools for the people who are getting promoted newly into the managerial roles. So in this video, we will look at very important questionnaire for self-assessment. Right? Are you ready to take up the managerial role? Right? By using this questionnaire, you can assess yourself to understand what are your gaps and whether you can fill in those gaps, how you can fill in those gaps, and you can, think about it, right? So when you are new, and when you, I mean, with your new promotion, you become the topic of conversation, right, for your team, your peers, and management. You will be observed closely on what you do, what you say, how you say, how you handle the complex situations, how do you celebrate the success, how do you manage your team, how do you manage your boss, how do you manage your workload, how do you manage your prioritization, how do you take the decisions, etc. So everything, and everything and anything is observed because you got newly promoted. So this tool will help you to see where you stand in terms of some of these skills, right? So I will give you in this tool like 10 questions, so you can answer these questions yes or no based on your past experience or based on your capability, or whether you think that you can do that or not. So let's get into those questions. So first thing is, do you like to be part of success and growth of other people? So far you have been focusing on yourself. Now you need to be part of success and growth of your team members as well. Are you ready for that? And then, are you a good listener to solve the problems and resolving conflicts and issues? So you need to think about it. No, a good manager is a good listener. All managers may not be good listeners, but definitely good listeners can become good managers. So are you one among those good listeners? Because the moment you can listen, you are a good listener, you can listen well, you will be able to solve the problems and resolve the conflicts or issues in a more easy manner. Do you like to mentor your teams by sharing your knowledge and experience? Are you ready to do that? Because some people say, no, I don't want to share my knowledge, I want to just to keep it myself. But as a manager, you need to develop yourself as well as develop your team members. And can you connect the dots, what your team is doing and what is your team's contributions towards the organizational goals, right? Or do you just think that, okay, you give me the work, I will do, I don't care how this is getting connected to the organizational goal? But as a manager, you should know what is your organizational goal and what your team is working, whether these two are aligned or not. Are you okay to give the feedback and coach them? As I mentioned in the last video, one of the very important part of the manager role is giving feedback. Because most of the times we see the people, they do some mistakes or they do a good job. So in either case, even when they're doing a good job, you need to recognize them, and when they're not doing a good job, you need to tell them where they are doing something wrong and how they can correct it, right? So are you ready to do that? Because some people are not very comfortable in giving feedback, right? And do you find joy in becoming a critical link between your upper management and the employees? Because as a manager, you are basically playing a very crucial role between your upper management and your team. And many times the people, the managers, they think that they are getting suffocated between the upper management and the team members, or they say that I'm sandwiched between my upper management and my team, right? But do you think like that, or do you enjoy being that critical link between employees and upper management? Do you have courage to communicate the management decisions to your team, and do you have courage to execute the hard decisions? It can be removing some non-performers, or it can be cost cutting, whatever it is, right? Are you ready to communicate those decisions to your team, and also are you bold enough to take those decisions, execute those decisions? And then, do you have genuine interest in developing your employee? See, again, when you become a manager, it is all about how do you develop your team, right? In addition to your own development. So, do you have genuine interest in developing others? You need to think about it. And do you like to share the success with others? Again, like, many people don't give credit to their team members, which is very bad, right? When you are working as a manager, you need to give credit to the team, right? You cannot, you need to share that success with others. And can you keep team interest before your interest? Means, you go and tell your management saying that whether I have achieved everything, or do you give credit to your team? Do you go and say that, yes, I have, my team and we all achieved it as a team? Do you have that, thing in you? And so you can answer these 10 questions, based on your experience and all. So if majority of the questions you are answering yes, if you're answering all questions as yes, great, you're already there. But majority of the questions you're answering as yes, then maybe there are some gaps. You need to think about how can you bridge those gaps. Maybe in forthcoming videos, I will talk about some of those aspects. But for most of the questions, your answer is no. Then you really need to rethink your decision of becoming a manager. Do you really, want to become a manager if most of the questions you're answering as a no? Right? Think about it. Because if you think that though most of the answers are no, and you can bridge that gap, that is fine. But if you think that you cannot bridge the gap, because again, some of these things are related to the personality, right? Some people want to credit, want the credit to themselves, right? They don't want to give credit to other people, right? They are not interested in developing other people. It is again a personality. So you need to understand what is your personality and whether you are really stepping up, as a manager. Do you have these things in you to step up as a manager and be effective manager? But in case if you are not able to answer any of these questions, or if you're struggling, I give you one tip. You can think about any situations or experiences you come across or you handled in in the earlier stage of career, and then from that perspective you can answer yes or no, right? Like for example, feedback. Probably you have never given a formal feedback to the your team because you are not authorized to be as an individual contributor. But if somebody is doing something wrong, have you stood up and said that, okay, you're doing something like this, we can improve it? Similarly, if somebody is doing good, did you go and appreciate them, recognize them? So you don't need to be necessarily a manager to have all these experiences, but in your personal life or professional life, you can think about these scenarios and you can answer. Okay, so for today, it is an assignment for you, so you can do a self-assessment. And if you think that you can become an effective manager and there are some gaps, I'm happy to support you, right? So stay tuned for more, and we will be discussing a lot of other concepts going forward. And by the way, my name is Vijay Kumar Pita. I'm an international trainer on soft skills and leadership skills, and I also teach on mental well-being topics for the corporates. And also, I have interest in cyber and internet psychology, and I teach people on how they can be safe, from the cyber crimes, and how they can prevent those cyber frauds, etc. But in these series of videos, I'll be focusing more on how can you become a star manager from a star performer. Okay, and in case if you enjoy this video, please like it and share it with your family and friends and colleagues who may be benefited out of it. And please subscribe to this channel so that you can get latest updates. Thank you, and please take care. See you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.